Welcome in. Happy post Father's Day weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know the races were packed. I know that Tommy Bryan, our sports writer, was there from stem to stern. He was there covering it. If you follow the WilsonPost.com, you'll see a lot of that coverage, as well as in other publications for here at Main Street Media. Today's show is filled with important things. If you are a caregiver of someone in your family that is in the hospital, or you ever have to face taking care of someone, you're going to want to know about our first guest. And we're going to be talking about Ripped Apart, Living Misdiagnosed. Carol Stern is with us to tell us her story. And of course, we've got music. Matt Cooper is here with a brand new single, and we'll be talking with him in just a few minutes as well. Plus, we'll be talking about Porch Fest, which is a great success. Our Ginger McClendon, the cheerleader of Hendersonville, Tennessee, did an amazing job pulling that together. It was just wonderful. And we'll have some highlights this week from Porch Fest. I hope you didn't miss it, because it sure was fun. Well, first of all, we're going to get things started with a story that actually kind of has an important little bio that we can share. Take a look at this clip.
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a great story.
I'm trying to figure out how to view this story. Is it a medical story? Is it a legal story?
It's a love story. There's nothing in the world that Gary wouldn't do for me. He wouldn't let anything happen to me. He wouldn't let anything hurt me. This is where I found my true love. When you first go into an hospital, doctors are put on pedestals. We think that, they know what they're doing because they have a degree. I didn't listen to Gary. I should have. He got real sick. After that, I would not leave his side. I didn't know medicine. I knew chicken. But what I knew more was Gary. Gary's yelling at everybody, "This is not my Crohn's. It's time that I take over. I have to do this to keep my husband alive." And nothing else mattered. They have hospital advocates. They don't have a human advocate for the human in that bed. There's so many people out there that will give up. Listen to your inner voice, because they're going to direct you the right way. I took the decision of death out of the doctor's hands and put it where it belonged, back into Gary's. We have to sue you. It's not because you made a mistake. It's because you didn't own up to your mistake.
Was it about the money?
Keep the money. Give me my husband back. It's not about the Carols out there. Carols out there, we will be fine so long as we can take care of the Garys. And we're all Carols. And we're all Garys.
Wow. What a story. Welcome, Carol. Carol Stern is here with us to tell us her story, about her love story about she and Gary.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it.
This book is available to everyone, wherever you get books. And I want to tell everybody is that now I know that there were some people that gave you quotes about the book. Is it because there's a film in the works?
The author, David Black, was adamant from the very beginning that he wanted to make a movie of this. Mm-hmm. He wants to do a TV series on it. They got the script in the works. He's just got to finish it up. And they've got a casting director involved, and they've got a producer who is also a good friend of ours who introduced me to David Black, Michael Haggerty. Mm-hmm. And he's from the Nashville area. And I guess only time will tell. It's up to God.
Exactly. Just the most important thing is to get the story out. Now, we are in a medical hub here in Nashville, and there are a lot of people with someone in the hospital sick. People come from all over the world. Let's start at the beginning. You and Gary. Now, where are you from?
Well, I'm a military brat, so I'm from all over the place.
You're from everywhere, yeah.
I'm from everywhere, yeah. And all over the United States I've been. I settled after I was 40. My company, which was Boston Market, I settled in the Maryland area where I met my husband, and I fell in love with him. And I honestly, I didn't know men knew how to love till I met him. I thought it was a woman thing. I really did. I just went with it. I didn't know somebody could love you that much, and he did. He loved me that much, and we were inseparable. I could read his minds, his thoughts. Half the time, we didn't even talk. We'd look at each other, and he'd be like, "Okay," and he'd get up and go get me whatever it was I was thinking about.
Wow.
It was amazing. I mean, I was blessed by God to have my true love in my life. Unfortunately, he wasn't in my life as long as I would have wanted, but he was in my life, and he's still with me, so it's okay.
Now, what happened? What happened? And how did he end up in the hospital?
His father passed away, and there was some problems with that. And he had a pre-existing condition of Crohn's, which had gone into remission in 2000. No problems. Come 2011, he started having upper problems with his stomach, bad enough to where I called a hospital or an ambulance, and they took him to the hospital. And because my husband didn't have full insurance, they didn't do all the testing. They did one test, and it came back unconclusive for Crohn's. My husband was yelling, "It's not Crohn's. I know Crohn's. It's not that." They didn't listen to him. So because they didn't do all the tests, they treated him for Crohn's disease with prednisone and Toradol, which if you had a Crohn's flare-up, it would have been good, but he didn't. He got sick. They sent him home. A doctor looked at me and said, "You need to stop being a self-paid patient," which pretty much told me, "Oh, you're not taking care of my husband because he doesn't have insurance." And he ended up back in the hospital within a week. They didn't know what to do. They kept treating him for Crohn's, made it worse. They did an exploratory. They removed some of his intestines, which it's okay to do if you know what you're doing, but this doctor didn't. And you don't cut into a Crohn's patient unless you know what you're doing. Still didn't find the problem. Was still getting sicker. And I was in his room, and he bled out all over the floor, everywhere. He had an ulcer that perforated. That if they did a simple endoscope the very first time, they would have given him prednisone Platonics. And his ulcer would have closed up, and I wouldn't be on your podcast, that's for sure. He would be fine, but it started a reaction that it couldn't be stopped. And I made the mistake of listening to the doctors thinking they know what they're doing. But after the second surgery and seeing my husband and the doctors shrugging their shoulders at me saying, "I don't know what to do anymore, he's going to die," I decided it was time I take matters in my own hands.
It's a hard thing when you're faced with suing a medical organization, because there's a lot of people involved, and you take a lot of hits for doing that. But first of all, insurance companies will do that without even your permission, because they get as upset about the situation too. And we've had that experience here in Nashville with people who make a lawsuit. I love what you said. It was not that you made the mistake, but that you wouldn't own up to it. That's your heart.
Well, there's not a hospital out there that's not going to make a mistake. The hospitals are run by human beings.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, there was only one perfect human being on earth. Yeah. And he's not here anymore. He's around us, but he's not flesh and blood. So we're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. If I had doctors come up to me, "This is what happened. We tried this, and it didn't work." I'd be like, "Okay, well, what is your course of action now? Have you tried this or have you tried that?" And come up with a plan together. That's at every hospital. That's at the Cleveland Clinic. That's at universities. I didn't sue those hospitals. I sued the hospitals that tried to sweep it under the rug and tried to kill my husband.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And why did you write this book? Why did you get David Black to work with you and get this book out?
From the time my husband was sick and he was in the hospital and his intestines were out there for the world to see, he was saying, people need to know this. People need to know this. I made my husband a promise that they would know what happened. And there were so many times that God's angels pushed me back into Gary's room when I shouldn't have been there, just in time to save his life again, over and over. I needed to do this so it could get out there to those people that are in similar situations or don't even know they're in those situations yet. And if my story, my husband's story, can help them handle all the things that come up or stop it from happening, then something good can come out of my husband's suffering. So as far as I'm concerned, by doing this, I'm still taking care of my husband.
Amen. Amen. This book is important. If you've ever had someone in the hospital, ever had someone that you felt they're not giving the full story. Something's not right here. If it's in your spirit that something's not right, something's not right. I always say that little Holy Spirit nudge that you get is very, very important. The book is available wherever you get books. Ripped Apart, Living Misdiagnosed. It's written by David Black, and it is the story of Carol and Gary Stern. And it's so important. And I thank you for your time today. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. There's nothing, like you said, I want my husband back.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and God bless everyone. And truly, I hope our story can help others, and that's what's important.
Well, Carol, thank you for your candidness and for your willingness to share, because it's a hard story to share. All right. Well, let me, I'm going to make sure that everybody, if you guys need a link to the book, I mean, whether it's Amazon, do you have an audiobook out of this yet?
Not yet. No,
Not yet.
The publishing date isn't official until tomorrow.
Okay.
So, and they're working on the audio too, but Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all those, you can get the book.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Carol. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye. You too. Wow. What a story. What a story. What a story. Well, today we're going to go to music in just a second. We've got someone standing by. It's a brand new artist that I cannot wait to introduce you to. But before that, today is the first day of Summer Solstice. Now, you know, when I started doing a deep dive into what is Summer Solstice, what is the solstice, you get a lot of woo. Crazy people out dressed up at Stonehenge. Okay, I didn't do that, but I go to the old-fashioned Old Farmer's Almanac. What is so special about today?
Hi, I'm Catherine with the Old Farmer's Almanac. This is weather, wit, and wisdom for June. First, a bit of weather history. Let's go way back to 3000 BC to Stonehenge, England, a place with stones arranged in a circle. At dawn on the summer solstice, the rays of the sun would have shone straight through to strike the altar stone in the center. Today we know the sun is directly overhead at high noon on the summer solstice at the latitude called the Tropic of Cancer. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. At this time we receive more sunlight than on any other day. Now for a question to the old farmer. Why isn't the solstice the hottest day of the year? Actually, the hottest days are usually in July and in August. That's because Earth's oceans and atmosphere absorb and re-radiate the sun's energy over time. So even though the northern hemisphere is absorbing lots of sunlight on the summer solstice, it takes several weeks to release it. We end this month with a proverb: if June be sunny, harvest comes early. Thanks for joining us. To see more about the first day of summer, just go to almanac.com/seasons.
Are you almanac people? I don't plant without my almanac. I always check my almanac for everything. So, and the new ones, you can always pre-order your 2022 right now because it's getting all ready. And they have all sorts of neat products too. If you need rain gauges and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's old fashioned, but so am I. I kind of like it. Anyway, we're going to introduce you to the head of Turnberry Records. First, Mr. Keith Barnacastle is standing by, and we're going to introduce to you one of their artists. Hi, Keith. How are you?
Hi, Devin. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. We're doing great out here. It's very hot. But
it is the longest day of the year. It is hot, but ain't nothing hot like August.
Oh, let me tell you, I don't know. This desert's pretty hot. So
now, where are you right now?
We're in Palm Springs, California.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
We've been probably in like 118, 120 range the past few 3 or 4 days. So it's been pretty rough. So we stay inside, stay in the air conditioner. So.
Absolutely. And I want to tell everybody that if you're in a place that is a little hot, also check on your neighbors just to make sure everything is okay with them.
Absolutely. And the chickens.
And the chickens, my chickens. I'll check on my chickens.
You got to.
Yeah. Well, Keith, I want to ask you, you've got Turnberry Records. Now tell me a little bit about how you found our next artist. Matt is standing by, and so we're going to meet him shortly. Tell us a little bit about how you met him and what was the spark that ignited for you.
I think that the thing for us in finding Matt was we knew that we knew his producer, and one of the gentlemen that works with us knew the producer, and we knew that in talking to Matt and talking to Skylar and talking to Daniel and everybody about the project. And we felt like it was a great way to bring a new artist on, younger artist that would grow and then maybe have the success to move forward to one of the larger labels at that point. And what got us excited, what got us excited was the fact that, Matt is he's a great looking guy. He's got a beautiful voice. Has a great following, and we felt like that we as an indie label could move him further up the line so that he would then be able to move to a major label in the next maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it might take, and help develop him, but also do something good for us and do something good for him, to where the ability for a new artist to be able to have a better income from what they do, because a lot of the majors give you a lot of money and they progress you along, and then they throw a lot of stuff against the wall. If it sticks, that's great, but if it doesn't, it's like, okay, you're kind of done. And when we look at new artists, we try to see where we can develop that and bring them forward, and their career can be a little bit more beneficial to them through an indie label, whether it's Turnberry or whether it's any other label out there, can bring them up into where the larger markets and the larger companies, your Warners, your Sonys, and those kind of people would come in and look at that artist at that point in time. And
well, I wanted to ask you too, there's an important thing about an artist, and everybody goes, oh, I got a record label and they do all the work, or I got a major publishing deal with my book, and well, gosh, they didn't market it very much. No, that is always on the artist. And I know for every label, they look at the artist who's willing to do their work. And Matt Cooper certainly does his work. We're about to meet him. He
does a fantastic job. And that's what we were impressed about, is like the things that he was doing, and the things that, a young man with a level head and understands at the business and really wants to see his career, progress. And that's what we really thought was like, that is a major compliment to him, and something that we feel like every artist that puts in the time and does that, they will succeed. And we feel that that's what Matt will be doing in the future. So, and even
wonderful.
Now. So.
Well, we're going to meet him right now. Thank you so much for your time, Keith. You take care. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Well, standing by, Matt Cooper is right here. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Devin. How are you doing?
We were just talking about you like you weren't in the waiting room. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida today. It's a little rainy, but we've been having some pretty bright and sunny days, so not too bad today. So what about you guys? Where are you guys at?
You know, I'm Nashville, right in the heart of everything, and it's hot as fire, but you know what? It's a day and the sun is shining, and as long as there's vitamin D out there, we all need to go and soak a little bit of it in.
There you go. That's awesome. That is awesome.
It is. Well, tell us a little bit about you. How long has music been your dream?
Of course. So I was kind of one of those kids that grew up, just learning all the instruments and singing all these songs. But I would say around freshman year of college, which was last year for me, or almost 2 years now, I really started taking it seriously. I started just writing a bunch of songs in my college dorm. And those songs eventually turned into demos. And eventually I took my first trip to Nashville last November and was able to record a few of those songs. And most recently, I've had a few songs released, but most recently, my newest one, Ain't Met Us Yet, just kind of went viral on TikTok and on social media. And that's kind of what jump-started this whole Turnberry Records thing. And so I've been super blessed to be in the position I'm in, and definitely, want to see myself have a long-lasting career. And I think that Turnberry Records guys and myself can do that.
I have seen people that just said, I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not doing TikTok. But I'm going to tell you right now that every label checks TikTok before they check any other social media for anybody, because that's right now. And it's how you get the music to the people. That's the bottom line, getting the music to the people. How do you do that? Well, there's all sorts of ways, but TikTok is perfect. Well, we're going to look at this new song that just came out. Can we play your video real quick?
Of course.
All right. Matt Cooper, you're going to absolutely love his voice. I'm very picky, very picky. And I love it because people say, I didn't know them before your show, but I'm so glad you introduced me. Now I can't get enough. This is going to be one of those songs. Mark my words.
I've read all of the books on the romance, hoping to find you someday. Now someday is right now. I've seen the guy get the girl in the movie, but never thought I'd be the one to run off with you in that gown. It's a worse or from better, or once upon a time, 'cause that's what loving you is like. Like when Jack told Rose that she's the one, when Cinderella fell for that prince at the ball. Like when Johnny asked baby for one more dance, but they ain't met us, no they ain't met us yet. Those guys remind me of all of the long nights, praying to God that you call. I'm so glad you did. 'Cause darling, here now, I finally know, I know just how Romeo felt when she smiled, but they don't know your kiss. It's a worse or from better, or once upon a time, 'cause that's what loving you is like. Like when Jack told Rose that she's the one, like when Cinderella fell for that prince at the ball. Like when Johnny asked in time, 'cause that's what loving you is like. Like when Jack told Rose that she's the woman, like when Cinderella fell for that prince at the ball, like when Johnny asked baby for one more dance, and Noah asked Ellie to take his hand, like when bees saw Belle the very first time. Girl, with next on the list, we are paying maximum. They say nothing lasts forever, so forget what you read. They ain't met us, they ain't met us yet. They ain't met us yet. They ain't met us yet. They ain't met us yet.
You ready, babe?
Yeah.
That made me cry. That is the sweetest story song, and your voice is so sweet and delivers it. So I got to ask, how much of that is true?
Most of it is true. When I was writing the song, so I kind of have this weird thing, like whenever I write a song, I always picture like the movie first. And this,
Uh-huh.
is,
Yeah.
this is exactly kind of what I pictured. I had this idea of these two little kids growing up and getting married and stuff like that. And I don't know if I don't think it said this in the video, but my brother actually films all my videos for me.
I was going to ask if Daniel was your brother.
Yes,
Oh my
he
gosh,
is.
it's beautifully done.
Thank you
Beautifully
so
done.
much. So we put the story together, and I think it turned out pretty much exactly what I envisioned. And yeah, it's a beautiful piece where like the lyrics kind of match exactly what's going on in the song. So super blessed to be able to have done that.
Well, how can people find you, and how can they follow you on TikTok and all the other socials?
Of course. So all my socials, you just search Real Matt Cooper, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I'm pretty much on everything.
Real
Yeah.
Matt Cooper.
Yep.
So thank you so much for your time today. That was lovely.
Thank you, Devin. Have a blessed rest of your day.
You. Well, we have been coast to coast today. We've been in California, we've been in Florida, we've been all over, and now we're going to take you on the world, because today is World Music Day. And one of my favorite trips I ever took was to Ireland. It was last January, right before the pandemic. I'm so glad I went. Took a group of people, and I just talked with my buddy, my Brenda Willis, and our wonderful tour. And we're talking about doing a 2022 trip to Ireland with a group again, because we had so much fun, and people have been asking, hey, are you going to go back? Are you going to go back? Well, if you don't know what going to Ireland is like, for me, it's like going to the homeland, going to the mother church, but not the Ryman, but the other mother church. So I want you to see, now I've got to get my list out, because there's so many people in this to celebrate World Music Day. And it makes me cry. Chloe Agnew, who is adorable, and I love her. She couldn't make it this morning, but she was going to. Nathan Carter kind of created this whole thing. John Carter Cash, Crystal Gale, Larry Gatlin, Cherish the Ladies, who I got to see live on stage from Tradfest in Ireland when I was there. Moya Brenner, Alton, the High Kings, and Celtic Thunder. Now, all those people are in this video, and we're going to say goodbye. Happy World Music Day. I hope that you enjoy this as much as I did, and I hope that you enjoy the longest day, June 21st, Summer Solstice. We're going to go to Stonehenge and all sorts in this beautiful video. Be safe, be kind, and remember, most of all, you are loved.
Like the waves of the ocean crashing on the cliffs some more, or the western winds are blowing all along the Galway shore.
From the high walls of Derry to the rolling hills of Kerry,
All across this Irish homeland, there's a welcome at the door.
May the road rise to meet you,
The smile will always greet you. May our friendship be always true and strong. And as the sun sets in the west, I wish you all the best. Please God, we'll meet again before too long.
with the troubles of our world, we leave them at the door.
We raise a glass to friends who've passed, remembering them once more.
and may the love of the Irish be with you every day.
Who knows what tomorrow brings? Let's live for today.
May the road rise to meet you, the smile always greet you. May our friendship be always true and strong. As the sun sets in the west, I wish you all the best. Please God, we'll meet again before too long.
May the road rise to meet you,
A smile always greet you.
May our friendship be always true and strong.